We were playing the same punishment game. If any other girl just smiled at him, he would play the white knight and drink for her. But when it pointed to me, he pointed at the track. Either go run 10 laps or chug the mystery mix. Your choice. He even stopped others from helping me. Harper has hands and feet. It's just a penalty. She can handle it. For field day, he designed custom jerseys for the entire homeroom. There were 49 students, but he ordered 48 shirts. He scoffed. Miss High and Mighty would never wear such an ugly thing anyway. But when I actually wore someone else's jersey, he crushed the water bottle in his hand. Why the hell are you two wearing matching couple outfits? There were 49 people in our homeroom, but only 48 jerseys arrived. Ordering the field day gear was supposed to be the student council rep's job, but Archer took over. He stood at the front of the class, slamming his hand on the podium to get everyone's attention. Everyone knows field day is coming up. The school wants every homeroom to have a theme for the parade. My dad knows some designers, so I'm handling the jerseys. Sound good? The class went silent for a second, then erupted in cheers. Archer lifted his eyelids, casting a lazy, indifferent glance in my direction. My pen paused on my notebook, and my heart sank. Ever since junior high, my childhood friend, Archer Vance, had changed. He used to be the boy who wanted me everywhere he went. He couldn't stand seeing me cry. Now he just loved to bully me. It started with public humiliation. If anyone liked me, he made sure the whole school knew about it in the worst way. His frat boyfriends would say, "Archer heard some guy from AP Chem likes Harper. That's not cool, right? She's basically your little wifey. What if she gets stolen?" Back then, Archer would kick his friend's chair impatiently. "Chill. I have zero interest in a girl who's as soft as a marshmallow. She's boring." But when we were 5, he was the one crying and begging our parents to promise we'd get married. Even stole his mom's expensive jewelry to give to me. "Here, my mom says you need gold to get married. This is my engagement gift." He got a mixed doubles beating from his parents that night, but I accepted the gift. Over time, he wasn't satisfied with just verbal teasing. Every time he bought coffee for the girls in our friend group, he'd forget mine. When he told me the time for group projects, he'd always tell me an hour later than everyone else. At first, I would bite my lip holding back tears. He would just ruffle my hair and whisper, "Don't be sad, little Harper. I just wanted you to get some extra rest." Once, twice. Eventually, I realized he didn't forget. He deliberately didn't buy it. Deliberately excluded me. My mom said, "Harper, isn't it true that Archer gave you his family heirloom? If you get in trouble, doesn't he stop others from bullying you? That just means he cares about you differently. Boys that age don't know how to express themselves. He's probably just trying to get your attention, but using the wrong method. Go talk to Archer." The result of talking to him was a basketball whizzing past my ear, grazing my hand. I flinched. I looked at his face. I couldn't tell if it was red from anger or the heat. And his lips moving fast. "Who the hell wants to get your attention? So many girls are chasing me. Why do you think you're so special? Why don't you just admit you're the one desperate to be my wife? So you're overanalyzing everything I told you. I just have a bad memory. You think too damn much." He walked away back stiff, then frowned and ran back to get in my face. He shouted, "Harper, I've been looking at you for years. I'm bored of your face. I will absolutely never like you." That night I cried into my pillow until my eyes were swollen. I had taken every promise Archer made as a kid seriously. I really did like him. But as the bullying got worse, I stopped caring about those feelings. This time the rep counted the jerseys and whispered awkwardly, "Why is there one missing?" Again. I sat in my seat, unable to even hold my pen. I looked up and met Archer's playful, mocking eyes. The whispers around me suddenly got louder. "It's probably Harper's shirt that's missing again. Archer is usually nice to everyone. When I fell, he carried me to the nurse and bought me ice. Why is he only mean to Harper? Thank God it wasn't me. I die of embarrassment. Everyone has one but her. I'd be up all night wondering what's wrong with me." At the same time, I remembered passing an alley recently. Archer's friend asked him, "Arch bullying Harper is kind of fun, huh? Every time she looks at you like a scared bunny. Honestly, that look makes my heart skip a beat." Immediately that friend got kicked to the ground. "Don't you dare get any ideas about Harper. Only I can bully her." Someone else pressed, "Why though? You don't actually like her, do you?" I look at her and I get annoyed. She's always hovering around me, smiling at me. It makes me agitated. "But you know we grew up together." Another friend got kicked. In that instant I understood everything. It wasn't what my mom said about caring. It was just Archer's twisted game. My blood ran cold and my teeth started to chatter. Turns out you can trace exactly when a person turns rotten. Archer finished handing out the shirts and sauntered over to my desk. Miss High and Mighty wouldn't look at this kind of cheap goods anyway, right? I looked at him and suddenly smiled, relieved. "You're right. I wouldn't want to look at trash given by you. Not even for a second. A gasp burbled through the classroom. Archer's eyes turned red with anger. No one dared to speak. Suddenly, Bella, the class beauty from home, room 3, waved from the window, calling Archer's name. He didn't move. He slammed his hand down on my exam paper. Is that so good for you? I actually custom designed one just for you. But it looks like you don't deserve it. The past I would have tried to reason with Archer. If he secretly gave me the item. Later, I would have wiped my tears and smiled. But after realizing my years of affection had turned into MUD, nothing mattered anymore. The late remedies. The special treatment, my mind cleared up. Every time he did this, he was just roasting me over a fire. Besides, in a class where everyone matches, one person wearing something different stands out the most. And not in a good way. While we were in a standoff, Bella walked in and draped her arm around Archer's shoulder. Aren't you taking me to the game? Why are we wasting time here? Archer didn't move, glaring at me with fire in his eyes. Suddenly he rushed back to his seat, ripped a plastic-wrapped, light-colored shirt out of his bag and threw it at Bella. He stared dead at me. Miss High and Mighty doesn't want it. It's yours. I recognized the brand. It was the designer Archer always bought for me before I turned 14. That designer retired 3 years ago. To get him to design again, you'd have to run errands for him for a month for free. Last summer, Archer disappeared for a month. He said he was grounded. Nice stuff. I'll take it. But Harper, it's no fun if you take a joke too seriously. Bella smiled and tugged at Archer's shirt. He patted her hand, looking resigned. Usually if I walked a bit too slow, he'd yell at me to hurry up. I smiled bitterly. He could be gentle. Just not to me. The bell rang. The crowd watching the drama dispersed. I gathered my emotions and went back to solving problems. For the whole day, I didn't look at Archer. After evening study hall ended, Archer came over out of habit, waiting for me to pack up, ready to reach out and carry my bag. He had formed this habit since we were kids. But this time, I slapped his hand away coldly. No need to trouble you. I can do small things like this myself. And I won't need your help in the future either. He froze, then snapped back to reality. He slammed his own bag on the floor. What do you mean, Harper? You're drawing a line with me? You really can't take a joke. I didn't know where the limit of his jokes lay, nor did I know how much sincerity was in his teasing. But none of that justified him hurting me. Like if I don't like it. I don't like it, someone whispered. Damn, Harper changed. Since when is she so tough? I stared at Archer without speaking. I had been around him too long. Private. We were clingy. The affection was rooted in my heart. So I subconsciously held back my temper around him. But now it wasn't necessary. He wasn't worth my kindness. I picked up my bag and left behind me. I heard the sound of tables and chairs colliding. The next morning, after the first period, I took the snack box from my desk drawer and threw it onto Archer's desk. Don't give me this kind of stuff anymore. I don't like eating it at all. Actually, I love snacks. That was before Archer changed. He used to scour the city for new treats for me. Back then, he would lean on my desk with starry eyes, looking like a puppy wagging its tail for praise, until his frat friends gave him a bad idea. Put a frog in my snack box. I have been terrified of slimy animals since I was a kid. The sticky feeling on my hand that day still makes my scalp tingle. I sat there frozen, unable to even scream. That was the first time I rejected Archer's touch. And I stopped liking snacks. Archer froze under everyone's gaze. He frowned impatiently. Didn't you used to love this stuff? Archer stared at the snack box on his desk. It was as if I had thrown a grenade, not a box of macaroons. The silence in the classroom was heavy, suffocating. I didn't say you could return it, he said, his voice dropping an octave. And I didn't ask for permission. I replied, opening my textbook. I'm here to study, Archer. Not to be your pet. For a second, I thought he might flip the desk. His jaw clenched so hard a vein pulsed near his temple. But he didn't. Instead he laughed, a cold, sharp sound that didn't reach his eyes. Right, he sneered, swiping the box off the desk and into the trash can with a violent clatter. Suit yourself. Don't come crying to me when you're hypoglycemic during field day. He stormed out, his entourage of frat boy sycophants trailing behind him, casting confused glances in my direction. They were waiting for me to crumble. They were waiting for the old Harper to run after him, apologizing for existing. I stayed in my seat. My hands were shaking under the desk, but my spine was straight. That afternoon, the field day preparations began. Since I didn't have a jersey, I went to the art room during lunch. I bought a plain white t-shirt from the dollar store on the way to school. I laid it out on the table and grabbed a permanent marker. You're not actually going to wear that, are you? I looked up. It was Leo, the quiet transfer student who sat in the back row. He had messy dark hair and eyes that always seemed to be observing, never judging. I don't have a choice, I said, capping the marker. On the back of the shirt, I had written 0 in bold black letters. 0? Leo asked, leaning against the doorframe. Archer ordered 48 shirts for 49 people. I'm the remainder. The zero. Leo looked at the shirt, then at me. He didn't offer pity. He didn't offer to go beat Archer up. He just walked over, picked up a red marker, and drew a slash through the zero, turning it into a don't symbol, or a target. Make it look intentional, Leo said softly. Punk rock. If you wear it like armor, they can't use it as a weapon. I looked at him, surprised. Why are you talking to me? Archer will target you if he sees this. Leo shrugged. Let him. He's a big fish in a small pond, Harper. Some of us don't care about the pond. The sun was blistering hot. The athletic tracks smelled of burning rubber and teenage sweat. The homeroom parade was a sea of blue, Archer's custom jerseys. They looked sleek, professional. And then there was me. I walked at the very back of the line wearing my DIY shirt with the crossed-out zero. The whispers started immediately. Is she protesting? That looks kind of cool, actually. Why didn't Archer get her one? Archer stood at the front, holding the class flag. When he turned and saw me, his expression faltered. He expected me to be hiding in the bathroom, crying. He didn't expect me to be standing there, chatting with Leo, looking unbothered. Bella was clinging to his arm, wearing the custom jersey he had designed for me. The one with the high-quality fabric. It was too big for her. She looked ridiculous, like a child playing dress-up. Harper. Archer barked, marching over. Take that rag off. You're embarrassing the class. I'm wearing the uniform provided to me, I said calmly. Which was nothing. This is my solution. You look like trash, Bella chimed in, smirking. Archer, just let her be. If she wants to look like a hobo, let her. Archer ignored Bella. He was staring at Leo, who was standing defensively next to me. Who is this? Archer pointed his chin at Leo. A friend, I said. You don't have friends, Archer spat. You have me. I don't have you, Archer. I haven't had you for a long time. The whistle blew for the 1,500-meter relay. I was the anchor leg. Archer had assigned me this position, knowing I was fast, but hoping the pressure would make me trip so he could swoop in and carry me to the infirmary, the hero once again. The race was brutal. By the time the baton got to me, we were in third place. I grabbed it and ran. I ran not for the class, not for the grade, but to outrun the memory of the boy who used to hold my hand. I ran to burn the image of the frog in my snack box out of my mind. I passed the second runner. Then the first. As I rounded the final bend, I saw Archer on the sidelines. He wasn't cheering. He was holding a water bottle, his knuckles white, his face twisted in a mixture of pride and fury. He hated that I was winning without his help. I crossed the finish line first. The class erupted. I collapsed on the grass, gasping for air. A shadow fell over me. I expected Archer. It was Leo. He handed me a cold towel and a bottle of Gatorade. Good run, Zero, he smiled. I smiled back. Thanks. Suddenly, the water bottle was slapped out of my hand. It spun across the track, spilling orange liquid everywhere. Archer stood there, chest heaving. I have water for you, Harper. You don't take drinks from strangers. He tried to shove a bottle of Evian into my hand. I stood up, my legs shaky but my resolve ironclad. I looked at the expensive water, then at him. I'm not thirsty anymore, I said. I stepped over his spilled water and walked away with Leo. Behind me, I heard the crunch of plastic as Archer crushed the bottle in his grip. 2 weeks later, the senior class party was held at a lake house owned by one of Archer's frat friends. I didn't want to go, but as the class secretary, a title Archer forced on me so I'd have to do his paperwork, I had to supervise. The atmosphere was rowdy. Alcohol flowed freely. By midnight, everyone was gathered in the living room for the game. It was a sick tradition. A spinner was placed on a table. If it landed on a girl, she had a choice: kiss the person to her right or do a punishment. If the girl hesitated, a guy could volunteer to be her white knight and take the punishment for her, usually drinking a shot of something foul or doing push-ups. When it was Bella's turn, she giggled and looked at Archer. The spinner landed on punishment. Drink the mystery mix. Archer immediately stood up. I got it. He downed the vile mixture of hot sauce, vodka, and pickle juice without flinching. Bella squealed and hugged him. My hero. Then the bottle spun again. It slowed down, ticking past Bella, past the class president, and landed on me. The room went quiet. The card read, punishment, 10 laps around the lake house in your underwear, Oregon, the mystery mix. It was humiliating. The underwear clause was new, clearly added by one of Archer's friends to shame me. I stared at the card. Archer sat back on the sofa, his arm draped over the cushions, a king on his throne. He looked at me, a smirk playing on his lips. He was waiting. He wanted me to look at him with those big, teary doe eyes and beg. He wanted to stand up, silence the room and say, don't touch her. I'll do it. He wanted to own my gratitude. Well, Harper? Archer drawled. That's a lot of running. And it's cold outside. He leaned forward, extending a hand. Just say the word. Say you need me. Say you belong to me. I looked at his hand. I looked at the engagement ring his mother wore. The one he had stolen from me when we were 5, the one I had foolishly believed meant something. I stood up. I'll take the mix, I said. Archer's smile vanished. What? I'm not stripping, I said coldly. And I'm not running. I'll drink it. I reached for the pitcher. It smelled like gasoline and rotten eggs. Harper, don't be stupid. Archer snapped, standing up. You have a weak stomach. You'll throw up. Better to throw up than to owe you anything, I replied. I lifted the glass. Put it down. Archer roared. He lunged across the table to grab my wrist. But another hand caught the glass before I could drink it. Lo. He took the glass from my hand, looked at Archer dead in the eye, and downed the entire thing in one gulp. He slammed the empty glass on the table. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. Rule says a white knight can step in. It doesn't say it has to be that guy. The room exploded in gasps. Archer looked like he had been slapped. He stared at Leo with a hatred so pure it was terrifying. You think you're funny? Archer whispered, stepping into Leo's space. I think you're pathetic, Leo replied calmly. She said, no, Vance. Move on. Archer swung. It was a chaotic blur. Archer's fist connected with Leo's jaw. Leo stumbled back but didn't fall. He tackled Archer. The table overturned. Glass shattered. I screamed for them to stop. People were pulling out phones, recording. Archer was on top of Leo, punching him, screaming, she's mine. She's fucking mine. Who do you think you are? She's a person. Leo yelled back, shoving Archer off. She's not a toy you can break and fix whenever you want. Security, hired by the rich parents, finally burst in and pulled them apart. Archer was bleeding from the nose. Leo had a split lip. Archer broke free from the guard's grip and pointed a shaking finger at me. You chose him? You chose this nobody over me? I didn't choose him, I said, my voice trembling but loud enough for everyone to hear. I chose myself. I chose to stop being your victim. Victim? Archer laughed, a manic, broken sound. I protected you. I made you tough. The world is hard, Harper. I was teaching you. You put a frog in my lunchbox. I screamed, the memory finally bursting out. You knew I was terrified. You knew I had panic attacks. You didn't make me tough, Archer. You made me afraid of my best friend. Archer froze. The color drained from his face. The frog, that was a joke. You laughed. The guy said you laughed. I was in shock, I sobbed. I couldn't breathe for 20 minutes. You weren't there. You were laughing with your friends. Archer stood there, the realization hitting him like a physical blow. He looked at his hands, then at me. For the first time in years, the arrogance was gone, replaced by a horrified clarity. I turned my back on him. Let's go, Leo. School became a war zone. But the dynamic had shifted. The video of the party went viral. Everyone saw Archer screaming, she's mine, like a possessive maniac. The golden boy image cracked. Bella dumped him publicly, realizing that being Archer's girlfriend meant being a prop in his obsession with me. Archer stopped coming to class. Rumors swirled. He was suspended. He was in therapy. He was sent abroad. I didn't care. I spent my time with Leo. We studied, we ran, we talked about colleges. I learned what it was like to have a friend who listened. One rainy afternoon, a month before graduation, I came home to find a soaked figure sitting on my porch steps. It was Archer. He looked terrible. He had lost weight. His clothes were rumpled. He held a small, wet velvet box in his hands. I stopped at the gate, gripping my umbrella. Go away, Archer. He looked up. His eyes were red-rimmed. I didn't know, he rasped. About the frog. About how much it hurt. I thought we were playing. Like when we were kids. We aren't kids, I said. We haven't been kids for a long time. I love you, he blurted out. The words hung in the rain. I've loved you since I was 5, he continued, his voice breaking. But then we got older. And guys started looking at you. And I got scared. I thought if I made you insecure, if I made sure no one else wanted you, you'd stay with me forever. I thought I was keeping you safe. He opened the box. Inside was the gold necklace, his mother's heirloom. The one he had proposed with when we were 5. I restored it, he said. Take it. Please. Let me fix this. I'll be better. I swear to God, Harper, I'll be the Archer you remember. I looked at the gold. It shone dully under the streetlights. It was beautiful. It was a promise. And it was too late. I walked up the steps and closed the box in his hands. The Archer I remember protected me, I said softly. He didn't break me down so he could build me back up in his image. You don't love me, Archer. You love owning me. No, he sobbed, reaching for my hand. No, please. I stepped back. Keep the gold. You need it more than I do. You need to learn that people aren't possessions. I unlocked my front door. Harper, he screamed, falling to his knees in the rain. Don't leave me. Who am I without you? I paused at the threshold. I looked back at the boy who had been my world. Now just a shivering stranger in the rain. That's for you to figure out, I said. And I closed the door. The gallery opening was packed. The New York art scene was brutal, but I had carved out a space for myself. My exhibit, titled Zero, featured mixed media pieces focusing on the concept of absence and self-worth. It's a full house, Leo said, coming up beside me. He kissed my cheek. We weren't together anymore. We had dated in college and realized we were better as best friends. But he was still my anchor. It is, I smiled, adjusting my blazer. There's a buyer interested in the main piece, Leo whispered. The one with the crushed water bottle and the gold chain. Who is it? But the offer is 7 figures. I looked across the room at the painting. It was a chaotic splash of blue and gold, representing a distorted memory of a track field. A man was standing in front of it. He was wearing an impeccably tailored suit. He looked older, sharper, colder. Archer. He turned and saw me. The years had been kind to his face but hard on his eyes. They were empty. He walked over. The crowd seemed to part for him, sensing the money and the power he radiated. Harper, he nodded. Your work is haunting. Archer. I replied politely. I didn't know you were in the city. I run the family firm now, he said. I buy things. That's what I do. He gestured to the painting. I want to buy this. It's not for sale to you, I said. His jaw tightened, an old reflex. Everything is for sale, Harper. Name your price. You still don't get it, I said, feeling a strange sense of pity. You can't buy the ending you want. I signaled to the security guard, a subtle nod. I'm happy, Archer. I told him, looking him dead in the eye. I'm successful. I'm loved. And I did it all without your permission, without your protection, and without your money. Archer stared at me. He looked at Leo, who was watching from a distance, then back at me. He looked at the ring on my left hand. Not a diamond, but a simple band from the man I was actually going to marry, a kind architect named David. I missed you, Archer whispered. It was the only honest thing he had said all night. I know, I said. I miss the boy you were too, but he died a long time ago. I turned around and walked back into the warmth of the party, back to my friends, back to my life. I didn't look back, but I heard it. The sound of him walking away, his footsteps echoing in the hallway, heavy and solitary. He had the money. He had the empire. But as I laughed at a joke Leo made, clinking my champagne glass with the people who truly loved me, I knew the truth. He was the one who ended up with 0.